People talk the generation stuff. I talk the generation stuff a lot. But what a lot of us tend to forget is there are currently 7 generations that walk this great planet of ours. We start with the oldest of the groups, and that is the greatest generation, who were born roughly 1900, 1901 to 1927. Now, this generation, as we call the greatest generation, they're the group that grew up during the Great Depression. And they either fought in or supported the effort to fight in World War II. Now, this term, the greatest generation, was popularized by Tom Brokaw. And for those of you who are young and don't know who he was a rather famous journalist. And he came up with it as a way of paying tribute to their resilience and sacrifice. I mean, and their constant contribution to the shaping of our modern society as it became. Now, despite experiencing the massive economic hardship they did of the Depression, they developed a strong work ethic and a resourcefulness never seen before. And when World War II erupted, many of them joined the armed forces and supported the war effort on the home front, and it contributed massively to the Allied victory over both Germany and Japan. Now, their dedication, unity, and determination in the face of this adversity laid the foundation for post-war prosperity that helped shape the world's new geopolitical landscape that came after the Second World War. They definitely are admired for their sense of duty and patriotism and their commitment to rebuilding a better future after such devastation, not just nationally, but internationally. And then following them, we had the silent generation. Those, the precursor to the boomers, those born roughly 1928 to 45. Now, this silent generation, they came of an age in post-World War II era. And the term silent, it doesn't imply that this generation lacked or contributed and less vocal about opinions compared to other generations. I mean, they witnessed significant social and political changes, including the aftermath of the Great Depression, the rise of the civil rights movement, the beginning and the heart of the Cold War era. I mean, they were influenced by traditional values such as duty, hard work, stability, and conformity. Now, members of this generation, they played crucial roles in rebuilding societies after the war. I mean, the rebuild took so long, it spanned generations. I mean, contributing to the economic growth and participating in the workforce during this post-war boom, they also laid groundwork for later advancements in technology and culture. Now, although the silent generation might not have been as visibly influential or vocal as some other generations had, they definitely had a substantial impact on shaping the modern institutions and values. You know, they provided a stability and a continuity needed for the subsequent future societal changes. Now, this brings us to the boomers, that great baby boom generation, the largest generation born because the boom from the post-war when all the men came home, you know, those born from 46 to 64. Now, this baby boomer generation that was after the end of the World War. Now, the term, of course, baby boomer originated because it was a significant increase in birth rates during this time period because all the men off fighting in the war had come home. Now, this generation experienced a period of prosperity and social change. I mean, they grew up in this great time of economic growth. They witnessed new technological advancements and they saw the rise of the consumer culture. Baby boomers were influenced by the civil rights movement, the Vietnam War, and other significant shifts in society's norms, including the changing in gender roles. Because ever since the war, there were many more women in the workplace, and the advent of rock and roll and other cultural movements that arose. Now, when boomers came of age, they played a vital role in driving cultural, political, and economic changes that were heavily involved in social activism, advocating for civil rights, environmental conservation, women's rights, and all these other progressive causes. Now, in the workforce, baby boomers significantly shaped cultural and leadership styles. I mean, they had been associated with such a strong work ethic and dedication to their careers, which often were defined their success in terms of professional achievements and their material possessions. They were huge into defining themselves by their possessions. And now as they enter retirement age, the boomers continue with a major impact on society. They influence healthcare systems, retirement policies, and the economy as they're navigating challenges and opportunities of being a rapidly aging population. But now we come to my people, Generation X. I mean, we fell and landed smack dab between the boomers and the millennials, two mammoth generations, and we're much smaller. Now, we grew up in this time of significant cultural and technological change as well. I mean, we witnessed the advent of the home computers, the rise of MTV, you had cable TV, satellite television, transition from the analog to digital technologies. I mean, we're typically known for being independent, adaptable, and resourceful, and our experiences have shaped us, including the economic uncertainty and the end of the Cold War and the evolving family structures, which the huge change was the major rise in divorce rates and the more common dual income households. It really changed the dynamic of the family with the rising divorce rates or dual income needed because of the way things were economically. I mean, we were among the first to experience the increasing prevalence of both parents working outside the home. Now it's norm, but when it happened to us, it was a new thing, and it was really, really difficult to find a normal end in society with it. Now, we played a key role in driving technological advancements, of course. We embraced the early stages of the internet. We laid the groundwork for the digital revolution that followed. I mean, we're often associated with a work-life balance ethos. I mean, because we valued flexibility and autonomy in our careers. That's what we really wanted, was autonomy. Us Gen X, we're currently in various stages of our careers and occupy many leadership positions in many industries. Now, we contribute our distinct perspective to the workforce and society as a whole. And we will continue to until we retire and move on out of these positions. Which now brings me to millennials, known as Generation Y. As in, why me? Why can't I have this? Well, no, I'm just kidding. But, them, the millennials, people still need to understand that they're born between like 80 and then 95, 96, somewhere in there. Some say to the early 2000s. But they grew up in that time of massive, rapid technological advancements. I mean, we had technological advancements, but it was growing exponentially when they came about. With the globalization and significant society changes that were happening during their time, they saw a widespread adoption of the internet, which had a massively profound impact on their formative years. They were more interconnected than anybody at the time, and they often recognized for their familiarity with the digital technology. I mean, because social media and the connectedness it brought was new to us, but millennials had it much younger. So they are considered usually tech savvy and very adaptable to change and comfortable embracing these new tools and platforms. But they too came of age during a time of major economic fluctuations. I mean, they experienced both the dot-com boom and bust as well as the '08 financial crisis. I mean, these things influence their views on education, career choices, financial stability, and as a result, many millennials, they're prioritizing job flexibility and meaningful work and a healthy work-life balance. There's that work-life balance. It changed again with the next generation. Now, they're definitely widely known for their social consciousness and interest in social causes. They advocate for environmental sustainability, social justice, and inclusivity. Now, they often seek purpose in their work, and they're attracted to companies and brands that align with these values and the values that they align themselves with. And as the millennials continue to enter their prime working years, which they are, they're shaping the workforce, they're driving the new innovation, and they are redefining industries through their unique perspectives, because their technological fluency and their commitment to social change is driving a change in the workforce. Good or bad, it's to be determined. Now on to the general topic of generations for the time being is Gen Z gets a lot of flack. I give them a lot of flack. They're from the mid-90s to about, 2012, somewhere in there, right? They're extremely unique because they're the first generation that grew up entirely in a fully digital age where technology is deeply integrated into every asset of their lives from an early age. These individuals, they're true digital natives. Having been exposed to smartphones, social media, and the internet since little childhood, they are skilled at navigating these various platforms, using them for communication, learning, social interaction. This generation is known for its diversity, tolerance, and global perspective. They value authenticity and inclusivity and actively support causes related to social justice, equality, and sustainability. Gen Zers are vocal about their beliefs and concerns. They use social media and online activism as platforms for their voices. They too have experienced economic uncertainty and witnessed the impact of such events as the 2008 financial crisis. Yes, the first ones were too young, but they've seen the impact it had on their parents. And they're the ones that had the real impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. And now as Gen Z, enters this workforce and higher education, because you still have some that the youngest are 11, 12 years old, but the oldest are in their 20s. They're reshaping traditional structures. They're definitely demanding more diversity, flexibility, and purpose-driven initiatives. And they want these things from their employers and institutions that have been around for a long time. And the rest of us, we don't like change so much when it happens radically and quickly. But this they are fighting for. And their unique experiences and their definite digital fluency, they continue to influence cultural norms. They're going to change the main culture of society hugely because they're completely digitally fluent. 100%. It's going to create a change in consumer behaviors and already has. And the evolving landscape of technology and communication, there's no end to where it's going to go from here. Now, lastly, we have Gen Alpha. All those born after 2013, they'll say that they'll call it a done at like 2025. They're going to be a small generation. They are a very young generation, and they are growing up in a world where they are completely too plugged in. They're completely dead digital. It's almost like the ones that are about 10 now and stuff. It's almost like raising a generation of cyborgs. Their tech is virtually implanted into them. But they have one horrible thing that no other generation had yet, and that is the fact that they have access online to all this stuff. And what do they see? They see us on here constantly bickering at each other, fighting at each other, belittling each other. And it would not surprise me if in the end, as they get older, they're going to decide they have no use for any of us because we couldn't put anything aside. We couldn't bridge the gap between ourselves, and we couldn't move forward and create something better. Instead, we spent more time telling each other why you're wrong instead of going, yeah, we can adapt here and you can adapt there and we're going to build this bridge. Anyway, that's all I got to say about that today. That's just a breakdown and a rundown on the 7 generations that are out there currently alive in the world today. So until next time, this is Drac saying I'll talk to you later. Enjoy and peace out, everyone.